slow commenter mode. And as you can see from the 84 that we did, 72 of them were a success. So that's a really, really high success rate. It did take about 25 minutes to go through them all, but as you can see, I mean, it's just really good success rate. I don't really use it that often, but it's, if you've got a lot of time on your hands and you don't want to use ScrapeBox or something else, it's a good idea to do use it. Okay, so from here, now we're going to show you how to do the same thing again in Blog Engine. Now, Blog Engine is a little bit different. There is no fast or really fast mode in Blog Engine, but these links are really good because most Blog Engine blogs, they do follow, and they're also auto approve comments, most of them. So again, I'm going to press start harvesting now that I've selected Blog Engine up here. Okay, now that'll go through again, and again I'll just pause it and let it finish. Okay, now that's finished, and as you can see, there's a lot less Blog Engine blogs. They're usually pretty hard to find, but they are generally worth it. So again, you want to remove the duplicate domains. It's only going to leave 127, but that's okay. Usually, the more keywords you have, the more you can find, but this is good for now. So again, I want to transfer them to the blogs list, and this time I'm going to select Blog Engine, and then you can press Start Posting. You can see now this is like the slow commenter mode. This is the only mode the Blog Engine uses, so it does take a fair while. But I'm going to start it up, and I will come back when it's finished. Okay, so we're back now, and Blog Engine comments have finished posting, and out of the 127, we've had 100 success. So I mean that's pretty good. It's about 80%, which is pretty good. Okay, so now there's a couple other things we can do. As I said before, Blog Engine blogs are generally auto-approved when it comes to comments, so we can now check the links. If you click the check links button over here, what it's going to do is it's going to go through all the blogs that we submitted to, and it's going to look for any links that have the ScrapeBox link in it or whatever URL you had in there. So now I can just press the check links button and it'll go and do this. So now again, this might take a bit of time, so I'm just going to pause it again. Okay, so that's finished checking the links now, and from the 127 we submitted to, it's found 62 links. So that's 62 instant links back to whatever site you had selected, which is pretty good. Now I'm going to show you how you can verify this. So if you click on one of them up here, you can right click on it and open the URL in internal browser. Now what this will do will actually open it up in the internal browser. Now this blog post really hasn't got anything to do with Miley Cyrus, but it must have come up in our searches. But if we scroll down to the bottom of it, we'll see our comment here. And there's the link which goes back to the ScrapeBox site, and it's as simple as that. So I'm going to close that down now, and I'm going to show you another thing you can do now. Sometimes, as I said before, considering that Blog Engine blogs that do follow and they're auto approved a lot of the time, it's good to try and find a big list of Blog Engine blogs that have a high PR. Now, a good way to do this is just to simply scan the PR of the domain PR of the sites we've already found. So we can get the domain page rank, which will happen very quickly. Right, so now what we've found is we've got here's some PR6 blogs. Okay, so what we can do now is we found some PR6 blogs up here. If we want to trim them to the root, so just get the domain, we can, and then we can find this. We can right click on it and we can copy the URL to our clipboard. Now what we can do is we can delete this. We can use custom footprint up here. We can type in site, and then that. So what this is going to do is going to return all the results of that domain in Google. Now we can start harvesting. Now the reason we're doing this is because that domain has a high PR, so in all likelihood there's going to be some of its blog posts that are also going to have a high PR. So we can then run the page rank again. This time we're going to run the URL page rank. So now you can find all the and or not blogs. There's PR5 blog post, PR4, PR3. There's a lot of them. I mean, you can repeat this process with any high PR blog you find, and there's also a couple of other methods you can use that I've used to find. At the moment, I've got a list of 15,000 PR5 to 9 blog posts that I can get comments on whenever I want. I go into more depth about that in the PDF guide that came with your download. There's a whole section dedicated to that, so if you want to learn more about that, read the PDF guide. And there's also just one last thing I want to show you um, about the manual comment mode. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scrape some WordPress blogs. I'm going to show you how it works. I'm just going to scrape a few hundred here. So that should be enough. And I'm going to scan them for their PR, the actual URL page rank this time. Okay, now the reason the manual mode's good is because right now if you want to get rid of all, say, PR2 or less, you can just highlight them all and get rid of them. Right click, remove selected URLs from list. And now you've got 27 relatively decent PR sites that you want to get links from. So now what you can do is you can transfer them over and select WordPress again. And we've got our comments already in there from before. So what we can do now is we can click on manual. So what this is going to do is it's going to open it up, and it's going to try and load each one of these blog posts, and it's going to automatically fill the box. But we can also edit it to make sure it's more unique and make sure it's more related to the blog. The reason that we want to do this is if we got high PR blog posts we really want links from, it's good to do it this way so you can ensure that your comment doesn't get deleted. Okay, so sometimes it has a bit of trouble loading, but this one seems to be working okay now. So generally when it's WordPress movable type of blog engine, ScrapeBox will automatically fill this out for you. Sometimes it takes a while and sometimes it can't, but even still, I mean, even if you were just to enter the stuff in manually, it's a lot quicker to go through the URLs this way than it would be to do so manually. Well, there you go. See, it's already filled out the stuff for me, and I can read through the blog post if I want, and then I could alter it accordingly. But I'm not going to. I'll just submit it now. I mean, there's an error with that one, but this just goes to show you that if you find some really high PR blog posts, you don't have to go through them all manually. You can use manual mode in ScrapeBox, which is a lot quicker than doing it. If you were to go to each URL in your browser. So that's just another mode of the comment mode. And that pretty much sums up all of this. Is pretty much the end of the video now. As I said before, there's a good way to find thousands and thousands of blog posts that have a high PR, and you'll learn more about that in the PDF guide. But that's the end of this video. The next one's going to be about the ping mode, which is pretty good, and it'll be a lot shorter than this one. So I'll see you in the next video.